October 18th, 2011. We are out at the Clear Creek Cemetery. This is Jeff and this is Jesse over here. And we're doing a documentary, and we're out here with Bill Cowan. And this is Betty Jean Kent and Jane Goddard of the famous Godard clan. And we're going to do some storytelling. There's Bill right there.
So Bill, I essentially got one wireless Wi-Fi, and then let me see. I'm going to come up here, come over here. I ain't getting fresh here.
Hot dogs. It's been years.
Okay.
The original gubernatorial party came down into the Verde. King Woolsey came down Copper Canyon, but Jose Francisco Chavez came down Gap Creek, and they came through here and ultimately came together up here and sort of reconnoitered the Verde Valley. In April of 1864, about 6 weeks later, a month later, Chavez came back through here, crossed the Verde, and went on past Stoneman Lake and on returning to Santa Fe. And in January of 1865, the original settlement party came down Copper Canyon and selected this area right over here where Clear Creek and the Verde River came together. And in April of 1865, then 19 men in 6 wagons came down Copper Canyon, and they got into a disagreement as to where they ought to be. And by the time they got here, and 6 of them, including one of the parishes who was leading that particular contingent, split off. But Swetnam and Ramstein and 10 individuals originally started the original successful Anglo settlement just about 2 miles north of here, right up there. And because the river separated the community, people that settled on this side of the river, this was called Lower Verde, and people over there on that side of the river, that was called Clear Creek. And so, interestingly, you had a graveyard here, a graveyard there, a school here, a school there. The school here was started in 1877, and sometime around 1900, the name was changed to Squaw Peak to reflect the mountain below here. So, and here are then the pioneers on this side of the river who were buried here almost from the beginning.
In December 1905. So my mother arrived in the Verde in about 1904. So he was the first cemetery, the first funeral that made a big impression on it. Oh. So I knew it had to be a great. Okay, this way and that way. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The community were here, and interestingly, they were the musicians. And they intermarried, and were after here. They were up at Fowl, and then ultimately moved to Cornville and Oak Creek along here. So, well, this is fascinating.
Now the vines.
Bill, I'll have you start with Jesse, and you can ask the question, and you you can look at Bill, okay? So Bill, I'll have you over here.
Okay.
Okay, please tell us what you recall about the Bristow family.
The Bristows were the ones that gave the name to Bristow Train.
Oh, really?
Well, that's the one that Samuel Dickinson guided into.
I see.
And he was, let me digress a little bit here. Samuel had been in the days of 49 and made a bunch of money and went back. He lost a wife and remarried, but he talked about the wonderful country. And apparently Samuel Bristow was his preacher. So they put together a train and came out here, with him acting as guide and Bristow as the nominal leader. And, excuse me, when they arrived, they stopped at Middle Verde under the preacher's tree and married all the couples that need to get married before they settle. And in his description of everybody in the train, Bristow kept, well, he was a good man. He wore the blue. And this man was a good man. He wore the blue. So he was still in Civil War mind.
Right.
And he got to one of them and he said, well, he was a good man, but I had my reservations. He wore the gray.
Right.
And so he was very opinionated. And he tells the story of a fight that went on and how it was broken up. And it's quite a well-written little thing. I can give it to you. But he was definitely the voice of the Lord speaking.
Yes, I've heard that. And they arrived, interestingly, they arrived and they stopped first in Beaver Creek when they came. They came originally to Beaver Creek and they visited, I think, August the 26th of 1875 when they came down into the Verde. They only spent a couple of days in kind of resting the horses and gathering themselves before they moved on down then to Middle Verde. And they constituted that original wagon train, constituted the original settlers, the first settlers in the Verde above Fort Verde. You see, the original settlement of the Verde Valley had all taken place down here, and everything from Fort Verde up had been the Rio Verde Reservation. But in February of 1875, the Indians were marched out of here to San Carlos, and then and so they left in February, and the reservation was basically open to homesteading. And along came the Bristol wagon train. It had the Burfords and the Letts and Davidsons and the Dickinsons and Letts, etc. And they were essentially, they established this little community which was known as Middle Verde. There's the Middle Verde Cemetery up there.
Samuel took his on to Cornville almost immediately.
Yes, he was in Cornville by 1876. I think they spent the winter, they came here in September. But the most important point is the first Baptist service held anywhere in Arizona was at the Big Tree settlement.
Preacher's tree.
They had a cottonwood tree up there in Middle Verde, and they would all gather for Sunday sermons up there in Middle Verde. So it's interesting that Angela Bristow, that here are two Bristows, would be buried down here instead of being buried up in Middle Verde. We had to go up to Middle Verde sometime. It would be fascinating.